hello Felicia, Gwen, and maybe Harry. Okay, so brand new day represents new challenges and new beginnings for Peter Parker. It might also mean new relationships alongside the new villains that we might get to see, and three of the most important people in Peter Parker's life could be about to make their debut in the MCU. This would be Gwen Stacy, Felicia Hardy, and Harry Osborn. Starting with Gwen. Gwen Stacy made her first appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 31, released in 1965. She was Peter Parker's first true love during his college years at Empire State University, where they met. Reason I believe that she might make her MCU debut is because in the Brand New Day trailer, Peter is seen wearing an ESU sweater. This heavily suggests that he is a student at the university, which fits into when and where Peter met Gwen. However, there is a certain nuance to this and it may not end up being adapted. I personally think that it makes more sense to introduce Felicia than to introduce Gwen at this stage. Speaking of which, Felicia Hardy made her first appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 194, released in 1974. Debuting as a seductive and unpredictable anti-hero we know as Black Cat, she is a master thief, a master martial artist, and the daughter of a world-renowned burglar, Walter Hardy. Originally meeting Spider-Man as an adversary, she eventually becomes his romantic partner and one of Peter's most trusted, albeit complicated allies. The twist here is that she is attracted to Spider-Man and not Peter Parker. The reason I think she'll make an appearance in Brand New Day is because, just like Gwen, she attends at ESU University, and her time at ESU University forms a critical part of her origin story. This is because as a freshman at ESU, Felicia experiences high-level trauma which drives her to drop out of school and dedicate her life to mastering martial arts, gymnastics, and lockpicking. Her original goal is to seek revenge. However, unable to do so, she decides to follow in the footsteps of her father and became Black Cat. Long story short, ESU forms part of her origin story, and with Peter being alone and single, she is the perfect replacement for the MJ dynamic or a potential love triangle between Peter, MJ, and her the story could explore. Lastly, we have Harry Osborn. Now, Harry does not need any introduction, however, we do need a refresher course on him just to see what he's about. Harry Osborn made his first appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man issue 31, released in 1965, as the son of Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin. In this instance, his role was that to be of Peter's best friend. Sorry, Ned. Anyways, his appearance in Brand New Day is marked by two theories: the new best friend theory and the hobgoblin twist. Exploring both, we'll start with the best friend theory. Since the MCU Peter is now totally alone, the movie might introduce a fresh new take on Harry Osborn at ESU. This would mirror the Brand New Day comic arc where Harry Osborn is reborn into the timeline to give Peter Parker a new social circle. Number 2. The Hobgoblin twist. There is heavy speculation that instead of Green Goblin, this version of Harry would be embarking the Hobgoblin, working under the new mayor of New York, Kingpin. This would replace Ned Leeds taking on the mantle of Hobgoblin, as famously iterated in the comic books The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 238, issue 256, and issue 289. This suggests that the movie might pivot to the comic Ultimate Spider-Man Earth 1610 and the 2017 animated Spider-Man series where Harry is seen becoming the Hobgoblin instead of Ned Leeds. However, as I've said before, all this is unconfirmed, so take this all with a grain of salt. Fakaletswa, boy. Anyways, those were the most important key takeaways and information that you should probably know before going into Spider-Man Brand New Day, releasing on the 31st of July 2026. And like I've said before, though none of this have been confirmed, they do perfectly line up with everything we know so far about the release. And if all this is true, I can bet you my last 2 rands that we're gonna see some of these things come to fruition.